live to the viewers, explain what made you interested in the sports business, sports industry, and what you do.
Oh man, I don't know. It's from birth. It was the thing that was always caught my eye. I played as best I could, but really it was all about doing stuff. Staying true to yourself, really. And when people went to do finance, or when they went into law, or being a doctor, or doing whatever the path they chose, the truest path for me was always like sports media and entertainment, and just trying to be creative and authentic to me. And no matter what avenue I went down, I haven't always worked in sports media, but when any avenue I went down, it always kind of led me back to this. As I got older, I'm 39 years old. I'm not a young man anymore. But as I got older, I realized that you only live one life, and it's really it was really started to become obviously important to go after kind of the field that I really was passionate about. And then with the advent of social media and the smartphone and all that really changed the game for real. Doing other jobs, I've been in sales and marketing for a while, but being able to actually create a side hustle as a sports media person, whether it be podcasting, live interviews, doing stuff on my phone, the studio I have, a kind of mock studio I built in my basement, all those things you couldn't do 10 years ago.
Right. Interesting.
Glenny,
yeah.
What up, big dog?
Yeah, so that the draft, I see you're with your Giants class, but I'm a Cowboys fan, as you know.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, so the draft is coming up soon, April 23rd. It's gonna be now virtual draft. It's gonna be interesting seeing how they do it with the virtual draft.
Yeah.
Obviously with this whole situation, but your Giants. We'll talk about your Giants first, but you guys have the 4th pick, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys can go anywhere to get. You need a lot. To be honest. You guys need a defensive player, especially offensive line. You need to fix up the offensive line for Daniel Jones.
Yep.
But where do you guys see them going?
I mean, it actually is a tough draft spot, because if you recall, we were lined up for that 2nd pick until we beat the Redskins late in the season. Excuse me. And that would have been Chase Young. So Chase Young's the obvious player that, a wing and a prayer, right, Glenny? Chase Young is an obvious player, like a wing and a prayer to get him dropping to 4. That would change. I think that would change the game, and there'll be no questions. But considering he's most likely going to be gone at 2 to the Redskins, or before that, maybe the 3rd pick to the Lions, we're going to be left with a lot of different choices. Again, you can go a number of different ways. There's a lot of great tackles in this draft, and then there's Isaiah Simmons, who's probably the next best defender out there. It's really going to depend on how they see the makeup of the team. Does Daniel Jones? He moves better than Eli. Everyone does, but is he going to be the kind of guy who's going to be okay without having that major tackle? Is Saquon, the running game, going to be good without boosting that O-line and trying to keep up with the big boys? Score more, or do they really make the dress, which has been glaring, which is either the pass rush or a linebacker position, which we haven't had in a long time? So it's going to be interesting. A lot of the folks, the theorists, the people out there making all different mock drafts, have them trading down, which can be cool because there are a ton of tackles. You could trade down to 8 or 9 or 10 and probably still grab a top tier tackle and maybe get another pick or something else extra in there. That wouldn't be the end of the world. It's not sexy to draft a tackle, but we haven't done it in a while, or successfully in a while. So only time will tell. That's what makes it so fun, man. Look, I got these mock drafts right here. Look at this. This is my son's mock draft.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Nice.
This is Michael, my son Michael. That's his mock draft. He hasn't taken, that says Isaiah Simmons. I don't know if it's backwards.
Oh, Isaiah Simmons to you guys.
The Giants at 4.
Okay.
This is Dad's mock draft. That's me. I have the Giants taking Wills here.
Oh, the offensive line. Yeah, he's a good player. That is a good player.
He's a good. Even though he's in a lot of mock drafts, he's down, and I don't have Simmons going. I had the Lions taking Simmons here at 3.
Yeah.
And of course Chase Young and Burrow off the board. So that
was the guy Willis, he's a good. I mean Wilkes, he's a good tackle. He's a good player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about tackles. You know what I mean? It's hard to really, I'm not like a draft expert. I watch. How many times have I watched that guy even play?
Right.
It's hard. And that's why, I mean, even though the teams get it wrong every year, so it's hard for us to figure it out. But it's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah. I'm actually dropping a lot of draft content starting Monday. I have a lot of good interviews with some players, some ex-players, and maybe even a really interesting piece of content that hopefully you'll see coming out next week. So it's exciting. Yeah, I mean, the draft, football, knock on wood, and not to be insensitive to the situation, but football, NFL is some pretty good timing with this virus and stuff like that, because they're the only thing that's really live. It's their off season anyway. So the timing for them has been good, and every other sport really not good.
Right. Yeah. So, but I mean, first of all, with Chase, if the Redskins let Chase Young slip, they would be stupid, because I feel like obviously they're the most not well-run franchise in my opinion. They always screw up with the front office and the off season, always in the draft. So I feel like actually I kind of see I kind of want to see him as a Cowboy fan. I kind of want to see them do a bad job in the draft. Yeah, pass him up and go somewhere else. But I mean, now so my Cowboys have the 17th pick. Okay. And then so I had the opportunity to talk to Maurice Jones-Drew on Instagram Live. Awesome. So he does mock drafts also for NFL Network, and he told me that he predicts that the Cowboys will take the guy from LSU, the linebacker, Kayvon Chasen. Oh yeah, at 17. But
I got the apostrophe in his name there.
Mm-hmm. Kayvon, but I don't know. Like for us, we with the receiver, the draft for the receivers are deep. The defensive backs, safeties are deep. So the Cowboys, we can go anywhere. We can trade down. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones trades down and get more picks, because this draft is deep, or he makes a pick. But where do you have the Cowboys taking at 17?
Cowboys? Jeez, man, I don't give a crap about the Cowboys, but I haven't taken Jeff Gladney.
What?
I haven't taken Jeff Gladney.
Who's that?
And I think my son has him taking Kristen Fulton. I think he's a linebacker.
Who is Jeff Gladney? I don't know.
Gladney.
Or Gladney?
He's gonna be your next guy.
Where is he from? What college?
He's a corner. TCU.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that high, huh?
Well, TCU guy.
But so what do you think of the Maurice Jones-Drew's projected pick for us? I mean, obviously you don't care, but just
I think that would be an amazing pick if he drops to 17.
Right.
You're saying not trading picks, keeping 17 and getting that guy? I mean, I have him most. I don't really know most about these guys. I mean, I'm not a draft expert. I got to tell you, but I will tell you that in all these drafts, he's going in the early 10, 11, 12.
Kayvon Chasen, yeah.
Kayvon Chasen, yeah. I have my son has him going 14. I actually don't even have him in my top 20 for whatever reason. Maybe I just chose him to not. Yeah, I don't have him in the top 20. I went really receiver heavy this year.
So speaking of receivers, So you so mostly you're focused on the receivers then, I
just think that I think that teams are valuing, because this is what I think. You can't, unless you're Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to pay. I don't think teams should ever really pay huge money for a receiver. So the value in receiver comes by drafting them, and drafting, guys like if this CD Lamb guy is what they're saying he's going to be, well, then he's going to be basically a $10 or $12 million receiver for rookie money. If you can get a guy that drops into the teens or the late first round and you're going to be paying them that slot, whatever that money costs there, you're going to get value as opposed to having to pay a guy like Golden Tate $8 million a year or $10 million a year. You're going to get Golden Tate for $500,000 if you draft him 25th, and he's and younger. So I think the value in receiver is interesting in the draft because they're like, and kind of like running back too. These guys are like, I heard once they're like the sports car of football receivers. Like they're sexy,
right,
and they're great, but they're gonna blow you away for a year or two, but then they're gonna die out, and they're just gonna be a headache, and their parts are gonna cost a lot of money, and they're gonna drain you. They're like a sports car where the linemen are those old reliable Volkswagen Fords, and then the quarterback is like that car you pay top money. It's gonna be your thing and your investment in. So that's how I look at it. So that's why this year's it's deep in receiver, and you need these guys to stretch the field because it's the offense. Passing is the name of the game now. Stretching the field and getting because it's all about giving quarterbacks. The rules are shifting towards quarterbacks. The rules are shifting towards having receivers be able to catch more. And every year they're breaking passing records and reception records like Michael Thomas and these guys are throwing. Every quarterback throws for 5,000. It never happened before. So all that stuff makes me think that you put a little premium on cheap receivers. Mm-hmm. That's my thought.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah. So obviously the Cowboys might have 2 receivers on the board or 3 receivers on the board when it comes to their pick. But where do you think Ruggs and Ruggs, is it CeeDee Lamb, Ruggs, and then Rudy,
Jerry Jeudy, and then Jefferson. Hold on, let me show you something. Hold on a second.
Where do you rank these receivers?
If I'm going to rank my receivers, even though again, no draft decks.
Yeah.
Everyone has CeeDee Lamb 1, so I'll keep him at 1.
Because Maurice Jones-Drew has I think 3 receivers in his mock draft going in the first round. Maurice Jones-Drew, I think. I'm not sure. I got to double check his mock draft. He told me something about receivers, but I had to double check his mock draft.
Just 3?
No, I think it's more than 3. I don't have any. I got to double check his mock draft.
I want to show you something. I've been dabbling in sports cards in this month that I've been off. Or I don't want to say off, but just looking for a little more content. And I was like, you know what? Let me invest in some sports cards. So my recent purchases has been this Ruggs auto. Okay, so this is a Henry Ruggs rookie autograph from Leaf. Only 25 made. So what I'm doing here, and I think you could tell your audience, this is another theory of mine. First of all, besides like an explosive running back, which there's none in this year's draft.
No, actually, no. DeAndre Swift from Georgia.
Yeah, but he's not, Saquon. He's not projected number 2 pick overall. He could blow up, absolutely. But the sexiest, besides quarterbacks who I'm a little priced out of Joe Burrows. I'm a little priced out of Justin Herbert, so I can't. And Tua, they're real expensive. You can get Ruggs, like a card like this, I think cost me maybe $15, $16. So what I think is a guy like Ruggs who comes in, gets drafted to a team with, knock on wood, maybe a pretty good offense, a pretty good passing game in the first place, because he's not going to be CeeDee Lamb to say where do I have CeeDee Lamb going? To like the Jaguars where I don't know if Gardner Minshew's passing game. He's not going to be the Panthers who don't even know who their quarterback is going to be. Maybe he goes to the Niners. If Ruggs gets drafted to the Niners, and you're like, wait a second.
That could be the potential replacement for Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders is out of there. Now you're going to light this up. You have a great tight end. You have a really good quarterback. Maybe this is going to be a spot where this guy. So then not only is that going to happen for the Niners and for him, but then this card potentially shoots up in value the moment he has a couple good games in September. Yeah. Another thing about the card thing is that it's next week, the draft. All the players' names are going to be out there next week. Me and you, maybe our audience, the fans, people, they get it, but not it. This is going to be more mainstream names starting a week from tomorrow. So that's where you get them now. So I'm going heavy in trying to pick and choose my $10 or $15 cards to get now, today, before the draft. Because when the draft happens, Then merchandising starts going. That they have a team, so teams are putting out their, and these guys become more popular. The other guy that I'm in on is this fella, Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims is a receiver from Baylor who dominated in the combine, like exploded onto the big boards in the combine. He's still projected early second round, but if anything can happen special with Denzel Mims, these are autographs. I got two of the different colors, but this ones I bought for like 8 or 9, maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
With shipping is what really screws you. I probably got the card for like $6, but it cost $5 just to ship to me wherever.
Speaking of Baylor receivers, Cowboys have history with some Baylor receivers with Terrence Williams, and I would actually, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys go somewhere else at 17 and look for a receiver in the second round. Like you said, Denzel Mims is like an early second round pick.
Yeah, he's projected early second. Ruggs is projected, one of the top 2 or 3 off the board. So those are the guys I've invested in a little bit, just because I got them for I'm not going to spend a ton of money, $10 or $15, hit them in there. Maybe they'll be worth 30 or 40 come September. It's just a little fun. But that's how I look at the draft as well. Try to get that lower value, and then they become valuable to the right teams. But it's hard. It's hard, man. It is hard. People miss on some receivers early. Miss on quarterbacks. Oh, I got a Burrow. My son. It was just my son's birthday. I got him a Burrow rookie.
Oh.
We made the investment to get a Joe Burrow rookie because I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he's going to be, valuable.
See, I've seen a couple surprise mock drafts. Not Maurice Jones-Drew, but some other people's mock drafts. I've seen Herbert going number 1 in one of the mock drafts, but I don't.
If you remember the combine, he performed very well at the combine. So he crushed it at the combine. If his cards are any indication, I can't touch Herbert's right now because I bid on eBay and then I get outbid all the time. So I think a lot of people are thinking that same thing. There could be some surprises. Maybe even if it's the Dolphins at 5, who are 100% drafting a quarterback. Maybe they might have their choice of Tua and Herbert. That could be interesting. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be so much fun, and I think so much people are so psyched. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because it's like the first real sporting event.
Yeah. So I feel like when it comes to the quarterback, but the 2 quarterbacks I never hear about that much is Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts. Because I feel like I don't know. Do you think they're early first round talents or second round talents?
I think Love is a first round. I think Love is a first rounder. Don't know where. We've seen him everywhere. I've seen him. The intriguing one is the Patriots. I don't like Jalen Hurts. Period. I never liked him. Never liked Jalen Hurts. I think he's too little. I don't know. But also Kyler Murray is like Jalen Hurts too. So I can't tell you. I can't tell you too much about those guys. But I have seen Jordan Love in the first round. I think he's a first rounder. And people are high on him too. Remember when the Jaguars took Bortles? I think he took him 3rd. And it kind of surprised people when that kind of reminds me of Jordan Love reminds me of that burst on the scene. People see potential in him, and he can be a surprise pick somewhere. I've seen him in top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's a first rounder, yeah. Especially for some of those teams who have 2. Who has 2 first round picks? The Browns do, I think.
I think the Dolphins might have 2 first round picks. I think Dolphins or Browns. I'm not too sure. I gotta look it up. But
Dolphins do. Jaguars do.
Yeah, Dolphins are like 14 picks, by the way. In this whole draft, I think the most picks. I think they have the Dolphins.
Yeah. So watch them trade up. They're taking a QB. They're in a good spot at 5.
Yeah.
If they can work out something to package some of those picks for an earlier, a couple first round picks, smart.
Yeah, because Jordan Love, everybody's comparing. One of my friends compared Jordan Love to the next Patrick Mahomes because I think he can. I heard that his arm is strong. Like he can throw it from to the other side, like what Mahomes does. But I don't know. I have to see more of Jordan Love.
I saw that. I saw him passing on the run the other day. Yeah, listen, these scouts are getting more and more advanced as we go along, and they can see these things, and they now can see it in action. Like when you see Patrick Mahomes be successful because of some of these things and how they game plan. One of the most comprehensive Jets teams around. You want to make a real investment? This is where you invest. Right here.
Luka, dude,
rookies. Luka rookies is where it's really at. But you got to get the rookies, and you had to get them 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago.
So speaking now, you just now we're switching gears to the NBA. So that's good. Since you brought up those cars, since now obviously there's no season, and then now they're doing some tournaments. And what do you think? Before we get to Luka, what do you think of this NBA 2K tournament that they're doing? And then they're doing this horse tournament. I don't know when they're going to start that, but I think I think they confirmed it, but I just don't know the start date. But what do you think about all these tournaments that the NBA is doing to keep the fans entertained?
I think that I don't know how old you are, but fans like
I'm 24.
Well, so you're way younger than me. So then fans like Eddie Mata, who just joined, and myself, I don't think we're going to be too into the esports angle of it. I mean, people are, but esports is such a monster that for the younger generation, maybe 25, 20, 30 and down, whatever, I think it's good. I think it's the same as it's always been. Now they're going to make a little more effort because it's something to do in this downtime. That's positive. It's all positive. Is it real sports? No. The horse tournament's funny. It's going to get some eyeballs because it can. Like, people they're thirsty for it.
Do you think?
I want more. I want more of that stuff. Yeah.
Do you think they should? Do you think they should involve the fans in that 2K tournament? Do you think they should have involved the fans, like joining them to play against players in the 2K tournament?
I don't know how that would work out. Probably not. I mean, you can watch and comment and do all that stuff, but I don't know how that would work out. Because I don't think, like, the same reason I'm not going to tune in to watch a live game. Like, if you said it's going to be, I know Chris Paul's in it, right? Billups. Like, if you're going to tell me, all right, tune in, we're going to go in Chauncey Billups' driveway, and it's going to be Chris Paul Billups one-on-one in the driveway, I'm going to watch that. But if you say it's going to be, Champagne Yankee Fitness versus Chris Paul, I don't know if I want to watch that.
He'll beat me anyway. So
you know what I mean? Even if the fan is better, because I'm sure a lot of times you put an NBA 2K, the fans are going to be better than the players. Yeah. Like, most, you know what I mean? So, and I don't think the whole audience is going to want to see it. I don't know. I think it's probably why that didn't happen. Otherwise, there might be just other, like, technical logistics why that doesn't happen. But you just got to keep creating, man. Trial and error. Keep putting it out there. I played. I did an Instagram live where I played cornhole against the top 5 cornhole player in the country.
Really?
He had his board set up. I had mine. We did it.
Wow.
It was kind of cool. It was really cool. But, like, more and more stuff like that. They're like, I'm connected with the cornhole people. Maybe I'll play them maybe I'll call them up today and say, hey, let's get a guy on my Instagram live. We'll play cornhole again. I think all that's interesting. Instagram Live was popping the first couple weeks of
right. No, I mean, it's like during the nighttime, on my phone is like everybody's going Instagram Live. It's insane.
Yeah.
And then me and we've been all doing push-up. Like, last month, we all did push-up challenges on Instagram Live, posting it on our stories, push-up challenges and everything. So people are coming up with challenges, I guess, which is a good thing.
Definitely
to keep everyone active, but. So before we get to Luka, but who is your favorite NBA team growing up?
Knicks, baby.
Knicks, yeah, let's go, Knicks. Speaking of the Knicks, man, we're still in that rebuilding stage, but my Knicks, I don't know, the Knicks, we need a lot of help, first of all. First of all, the coach needs to be the coach. I like Mike Miller. He's doing a great job, but what do you think the next head coach should be? Like a young developing coach, or?
I have no idea. I would take either Van Gundy back if they would have us.
First ties with their GM with Sean Marks, and then Becky Hammond.
But you need in the NBA. No one wins without one or at the very least one, maybe two max.
And Mahomes and Magic Johnson.
Amazing. That's great.
Yeah, he keeps pushing. He's doing a great job. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Luka Doncic, man? This guy is like he's only 20 years old, but he's already putting up history in the NBA.
There's a lot of score. NBA is all about scoring, man. They figured it out. NBA is very good media. They're a very good media marketing brand product. They find their guys. Whatever. They don't have to find them. The guys play for whatever. They're gonna find them all over the globe. Luka's cool because he's European, so he's gonna bring that audience in, just like Yao Ming and Jeremy Lin. So he appeals to that. He's got some cool tattoos and stuff. He's got a good demeanor. He plays for a great owner who embraces that whole thing. The NBA, Luka, James Harden, LeBron, they all are part of the greatest sports marketing, I think, league. NFL obviously has a lot of their problems with their players and their Kaepernick, blah, blah, blah. But they do a great job as well. They make a lot of money. But NBA has it right, marketing their stars, marketing their sport. Baseball stinks at it, and compared to them, so things like these, like embrace sports cards, have players. I got these at an event with RJ Barrett and John Moran and a couple other guys a couple of years ago last year before the draft. So they do that. They embrace it. So it's just a product. He's a great player. It's just a product of a great marketing. My kids are downstairs playing Madden right now, and I'm like, wait a second. Are these like? I'm hoping these are like edited. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. So they do. They get scrutiny. Of course they get scrutiny. You're scrutinizing them right now. Some sportscasters are going to scrutinize them. If they talk like that, they're not going to get deals. I get what you're saying. They're not going to get brand deals. They're not going to work with Nike. They're not going to work with the wholesome products. You're not going to see them with Pepsi because they're not the wholesome guys. At least they're not going to project it like that. I had an Instagram live or something that someone was like smoking a blunt and he was a player, or no, what it was? It was a player with his friend, and the friend was smoking the blunt, but it was still like, it was like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I guarantee LeBron is losing sponsors, number one. And number two is he is almost too high. Now he's so cheesy, he's trying to get back to street cred. So everyone has their own angle on this stuff, but it's wild. And there are people out there working on this exact thing, managers, agents, blah, 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 who don't want their guys saying that, but they can't control them all. They don't want them partying. They don't want them going to the clubs. They don't want them drinking food. They're going to do that too. It's just the culture, and ultimately it's going to play itself out, but it stinks.
Yeah, so before I let you go, I got a couple of things for you. First, let's talk about the Yankees. Obviously, there's no baseball here, but yeah, I'm excited if we do have a season, hopefully. But I'm looking forward to seeing Garrett Cole in pinstripes. And what was your reaction when the Yankees signed Garrett Cole into that monster deal?
My reaction was, I kind of, I'm older than you, so I remember when we would get whoever we wanted. I remember when we would just go get Clemens, and we just went and got Randy Johnson. Kevin Brown was a guy, I would remember when it was just like, he's ours. So it was like, all right, cool. This feels like old school Yankees going after the best guy, paying him what he needs, and obviously adding him to a team that's just right there. So that was amazing. My second thought was, all right, let's just rest them until August because we get there every year. We just need the horses in September and October, and now in November. So what's happening? We're resting them. We're resting them until July, August right now. Yeah. So I think that's funny. That was my reaction from a funny standpoint. It stinks, man. Oh, this is really bad because the Yankees were great. They're on every day. I cover them intensely. All that stuff. So that stinks that we don't have baseball. I mean, since we don't have everything. I mean, there's no... Right. Everyone's saying the same thing. That was cool. I will say something about.
Oh, also, I just want to send my condolences to the Steinbrenner family because Hank Steinbrenner passed away yesterday.
Yeah.
So my condolences go. That was horrible when I saw that news. That was crazy.
Yeah, I agreed. I mean, this has been 2020 has been a tough year.
Yeah.
This week we also lost a friend of mine who was a major sports reporter.
Oh, yeah.
Sports photographer Anthony Carter.
Yes, Anthony. Yeah, I actually. Speaking of Anthony, you know Sandy Charles? She works for MLB Network.
Yeah.
I interviewed her actually 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. I interviewed her, and then I brought up Anthony, and then she said that he meant a lot to the sports industry.
He did. I mean, he was at everything. I've known him for a long time. He would actually take my picture a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When I was, I have a lot of signs at games. If you look at my stuff, you'll see that I'm a big in-game sign guy. So Anthony, I've actually made a relationship with him based on the fact that he used to take my picture a lot. Then when I joined the media, I started, seeing him all the time. But yeah, that was devastating, man. So that, and then Hank Steinbrenner, and then 2020 has just been a tough one. Hopefully we get baseball back. It's going to be weird. It's going to be asterisk. I know without a shadow of a doubt, when you come back, we play 30, 40, 50 to your profession or your interests, then, God bless you. Good more power to them. Yeah,
so, and then one more thing, and then I have some rapid fire questions for you. But first,
okay, let's do it.
So I'm looking forward to this Michael Jordan documentary coming out April 19th. Ooh. Yeah, I can't wait for that one. At least that gives us something to watch. But what do you think? This is going to be the most anticipated documentary in sports?
Yes, for a couple reasons. It was going to be anyway. This is another thing this is another part of NBA and media that was smart. And second, it was something that was good timing. It was Chronicles. If you go to @Mafia Chronicles, they're that's my partner. He's got a massive audience, Instagram audience. It's the biggest audience of mafia genre movies and entertainment. So
I don't think I have you on Twitter, but everyone follow Mike on Twitter, Instagram, and then go tune in. I have 2 more interviews today. Go tune in today later on at 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. With 3 p.m. Actually, 3 p.m. is going to be Coletti Smith. She was the first African American women's coach for the Jets, so that's going to be interesting.